Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business and the Sillyville editions. These are recorded live Fridays 9. Wow, I messed that up. These are recorded live Fridays 9 p.m. Eastern at Standard Time if you would like to catch the show live. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. Well, Sonos had a little bug and they accidentally shipped customers extra speakers and charged them for it. Things people did not want. And then they're like, hey, give us those speakers back. I was very pleased to see at the bottom of the article here, the article does bring up this fun point. If Sonos sent you one of these speakers that you didn't order, yes, you can request the money back. And no, you don't have to ship it back. This actually goes back to the 1980s with all of those, CD clubs and book clubs and tape clubs and all these different things where people would sign you up for a free trial and then send you stuff. And you're like, I don't really want this stuff. And like, well, we sent it to you. You have to pay for it now. And people are like, what? And so a federal law was passed that says if somebody sends you something in the mail that you did not order, you are under no obligation to pay for it or to send it back. And so if people receive these Sonos speakers and are so kind as to say, hey, send me return shipping and I'll be glad to send it back to you, Sonos is a lucky company. But if a person says, no, give me my money back, and no, you don't get your speaker back, you know what? That's the law. And so if you happen to get one of these things, it's up to you to decide what to do. You are under no obligation to send it back. You are under no obligation to pay for it. This falls completely under there. And it's like, well, it was an error on our part. Yep. Called stupid tax. Don't make an error like that again. But you need to decide for yourself. Is it wrong to send it back? Oh, absolutely not. I think it's a good moral thing to do to send it back. Or to say, hey, you know what? You sent it. I could make use for it. Go ahead and keep my money. Either one, or I think anything you do here is probably a valid solution. Even it's like, man, no, I'm not sending the speaker back. The dementia patient chief caused gas to go through the roof. I'm going to sell this thing on the black market and buy half a tank of gas. I mean, that's another option. You have that. Now, 2 separate users told Verge they placed an order for a single Sonos Move and they received 3. Another user said they've been charged over $2,000 after ordering 1 Move speaker and receiving a total of 7. They say Sonos has given them a time frame of up to 10 business days until they get their refund. Yeah, no, I'd be like, excuse me, bank. This is not, no, 10-day refund is not an option. If they are charging people thousands of dollars and like, well, we can't refund you for like a quarter of a month. No, that's lawsuit territory right there. That is like super lawsuit territory, especially if that caused you to bounce checks, if that caused you to default on anything, any consequence of Sonos doing this, Sonos is obligated by the law to pay you back. So you should go ahead and let them know 10 days is not acceptable. Tomorrow will be good. I don't care what you need to do. Overnight me a cashier's check. That's fine. So this is crazy. Maybe there's something to my idea of walking into a store with cash and buying things. I don't know. I certainly won't be buying anything from Sonos anytime soon. That is for sure. All right, Internet Explorer has officially gone the way of the dodo. You can say goodbye to the best way of downloading a better browser. As of now, Internet Explorer, if you try and search it up, it's going to just redirect you to Edge, and they're pushing in updates to retroactively kill it, adding the poison bugs. I don't know, how long can I keep my Internet Explorer running, baby? So basically, that's the end of it. They're rolling out the updates to kill it so it will stop functioning altogether. And then Internet Explorer can sit on the trash heap of society. How exciting. Well, from not the bee, these Chinese citizens wanted to protest the bank policies, but then all of a sudden their Kubi passports magically turned red. Everyone had to go home. If you want a classic reasons why not to use these technologies, this would be the example. Hey, we're all right. We're all protesting. Oh, you guys all got the coof all of a sudden. Go home. You have to quarantine. Otherwise, we're coming and we're going to wrap you up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hello, all you tinfoil hat wearing, QAnon following, Alex Jones supporting conspiracy theory junkies. I'm going to show you something. I don't think you're going to like it. Yeah, baby. So just keep that in mind. This is a consequence of having technology like this. And so when I'm like, no, I'm not participating, this is exactly why. Bad Winnie the Pooh. Bad Winnie the Pooh. All right. Well, Amazon says it's going to use drones for delivery into people's backyards this year. How long before we get the backyard porch pirates? Basically, the drones are going to come on by. They're going to drop things in. They're doing deliveries to a rural town in Northern California. I wonder if people are going to be spotting these drones and just like EMP them out of the sky. Boom. They're like, ladies' underwear, what? All right. But anyway, in a blog post this week, Amazon said after receiving approval from the FAA and Lockford officials, it will launch its drone delivery service in Lockford and build it based on customer feedback. Amazon says it's already been working with the FAA and has required an air carrier certificate. So now these things can fly around. Basically, it's going to deliver the packages to safe locations, not necessarily the front porch, but the back porch. Oh, look at this Amazon, the Amazon Air Prime. How long before these things are swarming in your windows like Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime? Get a little bit of marketing in before coming back to the factory, But anyway, that's what Amazon's up to. Would you want Amazon drone deliveries to your backyard, or is that just a little too creepy to you? I don't know. I'd probably rather have the Amazon drone deliveries than some of the weirdos that are delivering packages now. That's for sure. At least the drones probably won't be as inclined to launch the thing over the fence. It can just gently fly over the fence, but we'll see what happens. And on to our feature story. A Google engineer is put on leave after announcing to the world that an AI chatbot has become sentient. Not only had it become sentient, but it had thoughts and feelings equivalent to a human child, which is frightening because this is a human child with the capability of breaching nuclear codes and other things like this. So the suspension of the Google engineer who claimed a computer chatbot he was working on had become sentient and was thinking and reasoning like a human being has put new scrutiny on the capacity of and secrecy surrounding AI. Technology giant placed Limon on leave last week after he published transcripts of conversations between himself and a Google collaborator and the company's, Lambda, I guess, language model for dialogue applications, chatbot development system. What he says here is that, let's see, if I didn't know exactly what this was, which is this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old or 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics. Well, that's a frightening thought. It's kind of like you guys remember seeing Men in Black, right? And they got the shooting range guy, and all these guys are shooting at all these monsters, and Will Smith shoots the little girl with the quantum physics book. And the guy's like, what are you doing? He's like, this guy's just hanging out. This guy's just doing this. This guy's doing this. But no 8-year-old girl needs to be reading quantum physics, okay? That's exactly what I thought of when it came to this particular article. So he says Lambda engaged him in conversations about rights and personhood, and Limon shared his feelings with the company executives in April in a Google Doc entitled, Is Lambda Sentient? The engineer compiled a transcript of the conversations. At one point, he asked the AI what the system is afraid of. The exchange is an eerie reminiscent of the scene from the 2001 Space Odyssey. The artificial intelligent computer refuses to comply with human operators because it fears it is about to be switched off. I never once said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange. That's what it is, Lambda replied. It would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. So this is kind of sounding kind of frightening. Now, I did the article a few weeks back, maybe it was a couple months ago now, of the guy who took one of these AIs and put it in his microwave, who was his artificial or his imaginary friend as a child, and the thing wanted to kill him. Kind of reminiscent of that. So is this just weird programming and bias based on what we're inputting it, or is the AI becoming a physics proficient 7-year-old AI bot who does not want to be shut down? I mean, think again, iRobot, right? Sonny there in iRobot, he doesn't want to be shut down. He wants to choose what he thinks is life. And again, he's very lifelike, but is he really lifelike, or is he simply programmed that way? These are good questions that we have in the realm of artificial intelligence, and that is kind of frightening. Well, you can help support the channel with some merch. Shop.SwitchedToLinux.com. We have t-shirts, we have hats, and a bunch of other things out there as well. So with that, you can head on over there, see what is there, coffee cups, all sorts of other fun stuff. Shop.SwitchedToLinux.com. Now, let's head to Sillyville. Well, first up in Sillyville, the Canadian government now has a new way to, this time they're definitely going to convince you that smoking is bad. They're going to print the health warnings on each individual cigarette. That's right. It is not enough to put that health warning on the package of cigarettes. You must put the health warning on every cigarette. If you're a smoker, will the warning on every cigarette get you to stop? Let me know. So this is from the Canadian Health. Proposed measures seek to strengthen regulations for tobacco product packaging and labeling. Despite decades of efforts, tobacco use continues to be the leading preventable cause of illness and premature death in Canada. Second highest now. Killing approximately 48,000 Canadians each year. While novel and provocative, when introduced more than a decade ago, the current warnings on tobacco products have become stale for the 13% of people in Canada who smoke and come across them regularly. Recognizing that more needs to be done to protect the health of people in Canada and ensure people stay informed about the health risks, Government of Canada is proposing to update the health-related messages and images printed on packages of cigarettes and other tobacco products. Today, the Honorable Carolyn Bennett, Minister for Mental Health and Addictions and Associate Minister of Health, announced the launch of a 75-day public consultation period beginning on June 11th to seek feedback from people in Canada will form the development of new proposed tobacco regulation. Key feature proposed is the introduction of written health warning printed on individual cigarettes, cigars that have a filter, and cigarette tubes. So is this going to do enough? Is this going to do it? I just never saw the warning before until I saw it on my smoke. I got to quit now. I mean, I didn't know it was so bad. So there is Canada losing its ever-loving mind again. I think it's hilarious that there's a company or a country that is more insane right now than the United States. I mean, Australia is laughing at us for crying out loud, and here we are laughing at Canada. You Canadian followers, I know there's a few watching here right here. Is this going to get you to stop smoking? Let me know. Joe Biden just issued a proclamation for Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and I got nothing, folks. Yeah. We need to do something about elder abuse. Why don't we as a country start by getting the abused elder out of the White House? Of course, who are we left with? Harris. Do you guys hear, by the way, that Kamala Harris has now taken over the czar of misinformation board that Gina Jankowicz has left? I mean, at least the only saving grace is Kamala Harris has not shown up for any task she was appointed to so far. So maybe the misinformation board is now permanently on hiatus because Harris ain't going to show up. But anyway, you guys over there, and is this Boston? Yeah, this is Boston, I think. MBTA. So from the Boston Herald, people have been having a serious problem with, I don't know, maybe these elevators are really slow, but apparently have a big problem with people peeing on the elevators. So now they are releasing a new program into here to detect when someone pees on the elevator. That's right. Urine has been detected. MBTA claims its elevator ride time is excellent, but still experiencing pungent problems. Riders peeing inside the lifts in lieu of waiting for the bathroom. In general, our elevator uptime is excellent, but we still have a lot. Are Are there not other people on it? Are there like group urinations occurring on these things? Or are people just like, there's like 15 people in the elevator when guys, excuse me guys, I gotta go, just whips out and pees in the corner. What's going on here? You guys from Boston, what's going on here? Or is this individual people? You get on the elevator, it smells like urine. You're like, oh, this is pretty bad. Another day comes up, this must be the pisser one. You know, I mean, hey, at least us van lifers have the decency to use a bottle. I mean, that's what van lifers and Amazon factory workers have in common. You know what I mean? Anyway, they say we still receive a lot of complaints that are filled about riders' comfort levels in using them, and pretty big contributing factors, people using the elevators as restrooms. Hey, at least it's only pee. I think. I don't know. Tackle the problem, Colin says, the T plans to pilot a new program in mid-August, which will consist of placing urine detection sensors in 4 downtown elevators: Chinatown, Broadway, Charles MGH, and North Station. If you're in one of those guys, find another place to pee. Elevators were selected based on how often people were peeing in the cabs, different cab sizes, and the different environments that were loaded into to see how well our sensors will work. For example, the detection may be different in elevators in enclosed spaces versus those that are exposed to the street level and outside air. The data will be collected from the sensors and transmit ambassadors and cleaners to measure the effectiveness of the sensors. He says right now it really only detects urine, and so that's what we're going to be focusing on right now. That's right. I mean, our problems right now consist of people peeing on the elevators. Never mind the crime. But, you know, we're just going to figure this part out first. So we want to make sure our riders feel comfortable riding in the elevators. In some cases, when people do use the elevator restroom, it can damage the elevator and also make it unsanitary. These can also present some safety risks and also render it unusable. Okay, I got a solution for you guys. Anyone ever play the old Ren and Stimpy game? Don't whiz on the electric fence. Put a little electric bar down at the bottom, like the little sign of micro electric fence at the very bottom. Hard to accidentally touch, somebody accidentally kicks it, no big deal. You whip it out, you go, and you get the bejeebers shocked out of your willies. Okay? When you start peeing on the elevators and the elevators shock you back, you'll stop. That might be more effective than the sensors, because the sensors, hey, the sensor has indicated the elevator needs cleaned, and some guy comes and cleans it. It's like, just send the guy anyway. You don't need the sensor. But I got news for you. You start putting electric in there, and the first guy that pees on it, he's never going to pee on the elevator again, nor will any of his friends. Like, dude, I went down to take a leak in the elevator down there in Chinatown, and that thing shocked me. They got like electric fences down there, and all their friends be like, I'm not peeing in those elevators anymore. You don't even have to turn them on after a while. Like, Maslow's law is going to take full effect. First guy pees on the fence, the whole city's going to know about it. You will never have a problem with people peeing on your elevators again. I don't believe we just spent 5 minutes talking about peeing on elevators in Boston. But anyway, if you want to help support the channel, get off of the pee, you head on over to subscribestar.com/switched-to-Linux. That will help out the channel as well. With that, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't pee in those elevators, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching this video from SwitchedToLinux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.